And Marco, do allow me to share screen, okay?
Okay, thank you, Gil. Good morning to all.
Morning.
This is the Innovation for the Future Resourcing Sessions, and we have a different constellation today. Thank you, Jeremy and Nitzan, to come to the space. My name is Marco. I'm in near Lisbon, and the game world, one of the game worlds that I'm involved is this possibility management and regenerative development consultancy for the transition for whatever is the next cultures that we name responsible and regenerative. And that's me. I will ask you to do the same. Just say the name, where are you in Portugal, and about your game world or game worlds. And I pass to Nitzan.
Good morning, my name is Nitzan. I live next to Idania Nova in a farm that we named Spiralia Ecological Village. That I live here already for almost 3 years now. I moved from Israel, and the game world that I'm part of and trying to build is it's a space for people to learn, and it's a space for people to connect with one another into a bigger and bigger ripples of impact and positivity towards what we understand that it's relevant and it's necessary to be part of society, to create the society we want to be part of, basically, in our own daily routine and actions and practice. And I'm coming also from the world of education, and I work with kids and with parents, also here in the farm, in nature, and creating a new international holistic school in Portugal that it's now in a foundation setting and time, and it's very profound and beautiful. That's me.
Thank you, Nitzan. You pass to?
I pass to Jeremy.
Thank you, Nitzan. It's a pleasure to hear a bit about your story, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Marco and Gil. My name is Jeremy Agnew. I am living in Arabida, up in the mountains below Lisbon, which is a national park. And the project I'm working on is Resource, which is a methodology for replicating regenerative villages. And I am a founder of Rebuild, which is a community putting together localized events and online events for helping share best practices and knowledge around regenerative village building. And every day I realize that I'm still at the beginning of my journey.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm feeling glad for being here with you, and also some sadness of noticing that every time I meet people like you, I'm amazed by what each of us really wants to bring to life and is manifesting already. And the sadness is, for example, of not visiting you yet, Nitzan. We met in Tamara, and also Jeremy, you've been in the radar and popping up from different people, and here you are next to a Habita. And I sense my anger to being together, being with you in this field. And that's also the reason why I'm here in the resourcing sessions. It's also to learn and to get inspired and to be moved by you as well. So thank you, Marco, also to come with me in this journey. Aho.
Can you say your name, where are you, what is your
My name
world?
is Gil, and I'm living now in Lisbon city center. And my game world is doing research on this regenerative development, of how to align the essence of individuals with the purpose of organizations and the vocations and the potential of the territories. So this is what moves me, my game world. And I'm working with Marco on that.
Thank you, Gil. As a logistics, we have 1 hour and 50. We end this session at 11:15. And let's go, Gil. We have a lot of, how to say, good stuff to eat, guloseimas. nice things to taste. It's a very practical session. Gil, just start.
Yes. So let's go and let's start playing. I'd like just to bring about the purpose of these sessions. And here we are. So it's to create. So the purpose of the Innovations for the Future Resourcing Sessions is to create transformation spaces for the I4F initiatives using possibility management and regenerative development, distinction, maps, and frameworks in a clear, assertive way that takes care of the person, finds each person where they are in an organic way, in the rhythm of life, from the heart and not from the mind, appreciating and celebrating, in order to vitalize and make viable the Innovations for the Future initiatives and commit to developing the potential of the territories where they are located. And now we go for today's session. So you're going to do a play, okay, Jeremy and Nitzan. So you'll be a team, and I'll ask you, one of you, to have a piece of paper and draw 2 cardinals, okay? Yeah, it could be yours. Just put your camera pointing to the paper, so also Nitzan can be. So you'll be a team. You have a sheet of paper, 2 cardinals, and the rules are every sequence of 3 X's and every sequence of 3 O's gives you 1 point in any direction, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, okay? And the goal is to make the most amount of points. And you're gonna have 5 minutes, okay? Just be the 3 of you. Me and Mark will be here, but just play with you.
We're playing noughts and crosses, and we just continue
So,
as many games as possible.
Yeah, just a sheet of paper, 2 cardinals, 3 X's, 3 O's, and make the most amount of points.
Okay.
That's the goal.
And you are working together, you and
Yes.
Jeremy and Nitzan.
Yeah, Jeremy and Nitzan, you are working together. You just need 1 piece of paper between the both of you with 2 cardinals, okay? So just start playing.
So I'm
Working
directing like the camera of
Each other.
mine, you mean? Like to direct my camera toward the paper, for example?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see my camera. I see like the, yeah, okay. Sorry. Like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you already draw the 2 cardinals?
Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, go.
Just now you go. Me and Mark will be silenced for the next 4.5 minutes.
So
I can't see. I need to pin your screen so I can see it. I pin. Okay, there we go. Right. So as I understand it, then what we're trying to do is to collaborate and not compete, and to make as many
lines,
points as possible. My immediate thought is, what if we just did all zeros in 1 cardinal and all X's in another cardinal, and then you've got maximum points in both because it's every diagonal, vertical, and horizontal.
yeah. Let's see. It sounds good. It was, yeah, something like that.
Something that's beautiful, wonderful. That's
My drawing abilities. Yeah, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Points.
Yeah.
On each. So it's 16 points, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
it was pretty immediate, so I'm thinking like how to maybe
I think there's 8 points, but wait, 8. We get 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
diagonal.
right?
Yeah.
And then 7, 8
Yeah.
for each
For
piece.
each
So it's 16 total. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. And then the other thing we could probably do is fold the paper. So if we actually had everything as zeros, would we that give us no? Because we need a third cardinal. So that they
I don't hear you so well. Sorry.
Can you? If we made it 3D,
Yeah.
what happens if you fold the paper? Like, do we get any? So that the cardinal is on top of another cardinal, and then we have like a stack of cardinals.
Like maybe like accordion, because it need to be 3. Yeah.
Like an accordion.
Like if this line like falls on this and then falls on this.
Yeah.
So like tack 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 will be another 3. Something like that. Maybe.
Try that.
Otherwise it will be double, not 3.
I like that. Let's try that.
So I need to put my phone down for a sec. I don't know if you see, but okay. That was actually a good idea. I think it's maybe this is like the point of those tasks. It's quite cheeky. I don't know if it's considered to be cheat, but it needs a sort of
does that give us another
abstract
line? If it gives us another line, does it? It doesn't give us a new set of.
No, it's like just the way to push to show it. It's like.
However, if we did both,
let's go for more 30 seconds.
That's it.
If we did both cardinals all in zeros, for example, then we could fold it over and have the 2 cardinals meet, and then we'd be able to create like a 0 from one line going into a 0 from another.
5 seconds.
But we haven't managed to do that and achieve that time. I think I'm happy with our
to have like a loop. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Celebrate. So I'd like to just a couple of words for you to reflect on these exercises. Just a minute, just for what these exercises brought to you, Jeremy and Nitzan.
1 second, putting my okay.
Out of the box thinking attempt. Out of the box thinking about win-win scenarios, how can we work together rather than competitive ones, because that game is typically a competitive one where you're working against each other.
Yeah, you noticed that you saw the cardinals, you saw the game, I don't know the name of the game. Yeah. And you saw the game, you say, okay, this is different. You something changed there. This is not for competition, this is for cooperation. Okay, something changed there, because at the first you saw the game, you saw, this is competition, I will try to win. No, this is not about that. And you change something there. Okay, you notice that. Okay.
It was recognizing an old pattern and then changing that pattern.
And you brought consciousness. You said it is about collaboration. So you brought that shift. What else? Just one more thing also.
It's interesting that in the roles that were being created, where I have to be passive and Nitzan can be more active in terms of like being able to do the making and the drawing and the writing. That there's an understanding of each person's purpose in that space.
Gil, let me notice another thing. You also change you put zeros in one and X's in other. say, okay, this is not putting zeros and x's in the same cardinal. We can do differently. You also change that. You also change that. And I have a question. What did you stay constant? What did you not change and why?
It's for both or for Jeremy?
For both. It's for all of us.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I noticed that you changed that. It's not a competition, it's a cooperation.
Yeah.
I noticed that you, instead of putting zeros and doxes and x's in the same cardinal, you put zeros and x's in different cardinals. That is a different mindset of the game. Okay.
Yeah, but still we kept the need to have both.
To
Actually,
have both what?
X and X
Okay.
and round.
And
Because-
nothing is
then-
nothing in the rules saying about that. You can
Yeah.
only of zeros or x's.
Yeah, and we got it only.
Another one
and the- yeah.
that you.
I only realized that at the end. And by that point, we'd already put the X's. And I think I chose to do half-half, or I said, let's do half-half, just because the idea of equity or equality,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, let's represent everything. But there was no need.
Bring another. We are looking to the process of thoughting, of or how we think about the
The
things.
paper, like the 2-dimension paper,
Yes.
was still a 2-dimension from the beginning, and just on top of that, we added the possibilities to break that paradigm.
Yes.
But it took time, so it took
Okay.
us like.
And
like
noticing what block you, what block your thought. Look to the paper and see what block you to the thought.
Just bringing something here that, Jeremy, you brought about this essence, this joy of doing something out of the ordinary. And now Nitzan is saying that a long time, more things were able to build up on, like the 3D. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes different from being passive, right? I have a job to do, and I'll play the game.
Yeah.
But now the question from Marco, what can you notice now that you were not aware and that you did, that you were limited? So now looking at your game, what things you did not think out of the box? What patterns you still repeated without questioning them? Nitzan, can you point to the game?
Yeah.
There was no need to even put the X's or the zeros in the cardinal. We could have put them
Yes.
anywhere on the paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even in the cardinal, you could have gone differently as well.
Yeah, we could have put
And-
lots more zeros in. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like this mode of
Your thought
Easy.
went to cardinal, just only in cardinals.
Yeah.
And,
I would say
and only in that sheet of paper. We didn't
Yeah.
say nothing about. You can bring another sheet of paper. It doesn't matter.
Just for whoever is watching. So you were talking about this, Jeremy, putting
Yeah.
outside of the.
Outside
And
the
also, you could even put on top of each other, circles and crosses on top of each other as well. So you were working also on 3D in a different way.
Yeah.
How is it to notice that? To notice that there are patterns that they were unconscious for you, like to keep everything with one ball or cross in one square, but still within the cardinal. How is that experience?
For me, it brings this understanding of like blind spots I have, and like it's or like immediately reacting, like reflection of like, okay, where is my blind spots in my daily life? What do I do from automatic mode, because this is what this is my boundaries of sight, and also about rules and being afraid to break the rules. Kind of like it's not okay to cheat, like this thing process, my mind process, that it's like, okay, we can, of course we can, like it's like obvious we can do as much circles as we want and like say, yeah, you didn't say not to, but it's kind of cheating, like, and this cheating essence or symbol, it's negative in my mind. And this negativity kind of limits my mind towards that. So yeah, judgy, like to judge this like change of rules, or kind of use the rules for my benefits or something like that.
Thank you, Nitzan.
Did you notice, Nitzan, that that rule doesn't exist in the game? It was a rule that you create inside of you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Or a rule that you had inside of you already, that you created
Already,
before,
yes.
and you used it, assuming that it's implicit in this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you both. I'm going to go again to the slide sharing. And one of the things that for us is important is that for us to understand that we do not see reality as it is, like it is unlimited, full of potential, but we see through the thought maps we have of reality and what it allows us to see. So here you use the thought map of the game, that you put at least one cross or one symbol in each of the squares of the cardinal. You broke the competition one and so on, but you still had thought maps that made you see and act upon that. And there were unconscious decisions, as Nitzan was saying, that these rules, these implicit rules, whether it's competition, staying inside of the box, whatever, that keep us from reaching these regenerative results in our systems. And it's about us needing to be conscious of the decisions we are making. And these sessions will bring two thought maps in order for us to do that. So this first one is about the levels of sustainability thinking. So I'm going to present the map, and then we'll work out a bit with it. And this is coming from Daniel Wall, and it has different levels. So on the degenerative, it's mainly these levels of it's illegal, immoral, like corruption. Some of the legal ones are also very degenerative as well. But let's put it mainly the mafia, the conscious polluting, trying to skip international laws and so on. The conventional level of thinking is about I fulfill the law, I comply with the law, and I don't have to do anything else and more. The today's green, what we call is these incremental improvements, a bit more efficient, a bit less negative impacts, and so on. The sustainability is this now, not the 7th generation sustainability as it was before, is about this real zero-sum game. So if I damage this, I compensate, and I'm a good boy. And at least I don't hurt the systems, or I compensate what I'm hurting. The restoration is about what humans are doing to nature, and the humans restoring the social ecological conditions for well-being. And the regenerative is how humans are part of nature and use living system thinking. And from this, for us, is about, it's the level of which life operates. Everything we do creates conditions to more life, more vitality, more viability, and more capacity to evolve.
Gil, let me make you, it's okay to intervene right now?
Yes.
Let me make you a bridge to the levels of responsibility that we shared in the last session. And when we are in degenerate, we are in irresponsible level. And when we are in conventional, we are in child. The parent, the law, the authority is saying to do that, and I will do that. I will obey that without thinking. And today's green, it could be also irresponsible or child. It depends what is the purpose that is there. If the purpose is to escape, it's to make marketing and all that stuff, I'm being irresponsible. I already know something and I'm not acting with that something. If it's to really try to do something better, I'm in an adult level, like in sustain. I clean my messes. I'm at the zero. I do the messes and I clean my messes. To be in restore, I need to be higher than the adult level of responsibility. I need to be at the higher level of responsibility. I need to take more responsibility that my messes, that the messes I create. And to be regenerate, I have to be high or radical responsibility to really embrace this responsible for these maps of thinking that I have inside me, that the patterns that I have inside me, that I have to be aware of that. I have to take responsibility for what is really inside of me. Thank you, Gil. Go.
Thank you, Marco. And now I'd like for us to share about. But now I can go to the next slide and then come back to here. So now the invitation, it's for you to really take some breaths to take this map in and bring to your awareness your project, the project that you are, and bring it alive in you, okay? And now what we're going to do, it's about, you're going to be talking so you, Jeremy, is going to talk about your project using this thought map, where you see your project at the different levels, and then Nitzan will do the same thing for 5 minutes, okay? And we'll just be listening. So I'll bring the map again, and the invitation is for you to have a space of listening where we are listening your own reflections of where you see your projects. Because we could assume that our projects would be on restore or even regenerative, but this map is inviting us to really see where are we just for complying with the law because we don't want problems because we're focused on something else. So just opening the space for one of you to start using this map to reflect of your own project.
Who wants to go first?
And we'll do more or less 5 minutes, okay? Just for you to have the time. You can pause, read, go again to the next point.
Okay, I can go. I can try. Like, just first, I would say that it's like really beautiful way to put it, and it's really helping me to be more to land into it, like to be more aware of that in my thought process. So thank you for that. And I would say that in this stage, like right now, we're in a point after starting 3 years ago this project with the partners and a lot of fantasies and dreams towards trying to take the responsibility, trying to be the adults of our lives and kind of go out from this loop of being dependent on the system and being like in this this duality of being like feeling this system is not serving us, but we must follow because we don't want to be this like rebellious that hits like that gets like the hits from this authorities. So it's like a division, like inside division of what we can do. Like, are we going to continue like our parents did with this like conformative way of thinking, or we as a group of friends that grew up together and have these capacities to see out of the picture, like out of the norm, and like to take it and to harness it and to bring it down to earth towards something more practical. And then very fast, I brought this understanding from speaking with many people that already do it, that there is a certain need for using the law and using the tools that the authorities created to make any kind of project more solid and more anchored. That it's like, it is like a zero-sum kind of like a thing that in order to change something and really to do it like for long term, it need to be like well profound and like really well on the ground in the legal terms, like within the legal terms that the authorities that we are not so happy with, they still created those tools. And to understand our child mode thinking in terms of humility, in terms of embracing the fact that, okay, we're starting at this point and we understand that probably in 3 years from now, some of the people are going to think differently and want to change and want to, to close the thing and go away. And how we're going to see this future, us, not working just like as a topic like hippies that just do and go with the flow, and whatever will be, and then it will not be solid enough, and it will probably break. It will probably not hold water so well in the future. So for that reasons, we created those inner structures, legal structures of a company that owns the land, that it's not private, and then the project can be more protected, in the sense of protected from the individuals in it. That is like this bigger thing that we are part of, and we are devoted for something that is bigger than us in order for us to develop within. And this mode of duality between working inside the group internally and bring the possibilities for each one to bring their own voice, but also work within an organization that it's bigger than our own self. It's a very deep process and challenging, especially working with couplehood inside. Until very recently, I was part of like very long relationship, like 10 years, that in one point we understood it's too much to hold together right now. Those like the roles that we take in the organization don't give us the possibility to change our habits or change inside the relationship, like to focus on things we want to change.
Nitzan,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting. You mentioned several areas where you're developing.
Yes.
Individually, relationships and partnerships, about fulfilling the law and the context that you are, the ownership component. I would like to, if you could, like using these levels, for saying, for example, okay, on restoring the ecosystem, on working on the ecosystem, we are, for example, at the sustain level. We are using some stuff and we're giving back, or we are in the restorative. The soil is improving, and the biodiversity is improving, or not. For example, at the financial level, or it's in another level. We are just trying to have incremental improvements at the social level, and not a big transformative where we have to keep people out because everybody wants to come because it's regenerative, for example, or try to bring some of these dimensions of your project and see where are they fitting mainly.
Yeah. So I would say I started with this, like the social level, because we started as a group, then choosing the land and all that. So in the social level, we are I would say conventional. Like there is a lot of still like thinking in the box, and in terms of creating new practices for the group to work better together. There is no commitment there yet for that, like real commitment, and it's tearing the group. It's like really hard in that manner. In the land, in the matter of like ecology, I want to say we sustain, but I want to be also like modest in that, and I'm not sure. Like I want like to imagine this land without anyone on it, or imagine it as it is with us. I'm not sure that the added value that we bring today to the land is actually sustained. Because we drive, you know, we have fuel that we burn, we use electricity, we use like the main electricity, we burn wood here, we do stuff that have like negative impacts. And in the other hand, we educate kids. It's like hard for me really to measure, to be like responsible in that matter, to see the bigger picture and to understand our stage at the moment. We did plant trees, we do gardening, we don't use chemicals on the land. So it did change for the better in some sense, but the best practice that we have right now that we implement is a lot of observation and trying to plan for the future, something that that we won't need to intervene and like fix what we did so much. So we really try to work slow in the matter of development of the land. And in that matter, I would say that it is like regenerative way of thinking and planning, working with professionals in the matter of land and what soil and water and plantations and all that. This is like the ecology level or layer of the project.
Yeah, thank you. 10 minutes. This was a reflection of 10 minutes. It's amazing what comes up when we put a map and with this, wow, it's really amazing. And I want to use this moment to say, if you don't see the three sessions before, please do. We have introduced several distinctions like game world, will, function, and being for the purpose. The three types of games, the three types of game worlds that we are like winning, happening, win-lose, win-win, and the three levels of work, like individual, teams, and community. All it's here. Like I can be in sustain in my team and be degenerate in myself. And I also to put in space that we are talking about game worlds. It doesn't matter if the game world doesn't have land. Like rebuild doesn't have land. But in a sense, he have all these levels, okay? I could be sustainable at the level of the team. I could be conventional at the level of taking care of myself. I could be degenerate at the level of taking care of the community or whatever. The game world doesn't have to have land for us to be talking about that. My energy is part of the natural world. If my energy is not being regenerated, I'm not sustainable. Something is wrong in the way I'm thinking about myself and in my system, and also in the team, and also with the community. It doesn't matter. All these layers are interwoven. And if you don't see the other sessions, please do. And they are designed like this one. You have the distinction, you do the practice, you stop the recording, and you do the work like we are doing here, like Nitzan did in these 10 minutes with this game world. It's this, the work is this. And we can bring all this distinction together and start talking about them. Jeremy, just go. Choose a game world. You have at least two. Choose a game world and go experiment with that.
Yeah, we put together a team of people. We were very motivated and we had a lot of energy. But then I realized within that process, as I was acting in a very kind of conventional way, today's green way. It was in some senses very degenerative for myself, and that caused a lot of issues and challenges in the way that we were collaborating and working together. So this year I took a big step back and have been putting in process a lot of different ways to think about how I can become more regenerative in myself, even though what we were doing and designing was all around creating these creating, replicating systems that were or will be regenerative, we recognize that there was work that we had to do personally, or certainly for myself. And what we found in a kind of like a physical sense, rather with the interaction with the world around us, legal, economic, etc., was that we had to have one foot in the present and one foot in the future. And that is part of the game of being able to move forward. It's like walking, right? You know, one foot is always on the ground in the present, and there's another moving into the future. And so it was having an eye on where we want to go in terms of becoming more regenerative in every aspect of what we want to do, and yet recognizing where we are limited by our existing self-beliefs, our systems, our structures, our laws, our ways of thinking, and realizing that requires patience, and it requires the virtue of self-reflection, and that's the journey I've been on.
Thank you. I want to implicate myself and go with the game world also. I see myself in my personal context. I'm in restore mode, and I'm bringing that to the teams where I'm involved. There is one aspect in the taking care of myself that I'm conventional or degenerate. It's the work with my body. I stopped doing yoga and movement and walking, and I'm for at most 1 year and a half, and I'm starting to feel that impact in the energy of my system, and also in the pains, in the well-being of my body. In the team, it's me and Gil, and we are, you could say, in sustainable and today's green, and I feel that there is missing something, maybe a new element. Like for us, a team is 3 or more. We are 2, and we are in this dynamic of the two of us, like we talk in the law of 3 with just the 2 forces. It's not there a third force to really bring a new perspective on the table. And sometimes that put us as in today's green or a conventional level. And in the community side, we are definitely going for restore and generating. Like this sessions is an example of that. Putting that in the table, we want to bring this experience, this spaces of transformation for all the people that are building Gaia game worlds that are very aligned with the life on Earth, and doing that in a self-implying way, like being as high, being an example, not only saying please do that, doing that in myself, showing that in myself, or beginning with the level of my experience, like we are doing here. We are talking about my experience, how I experienced this in my game world, in my life, this kind of thought. I'm seeing, we are trying to build this winning collaboration, winning happening type of game. Sometimes we are noticing that the win-win context, mainly when we go and talk about money and the flow of, like I'm noticing some maps in myself that is an old way of thinking about money, and it's not bringing the money as a non-material value expression and energy in the system. It's more a thing of not abundance, como é que se diz escassez?
Scarcity.
Yeah, scarcity, that it's more coming from that side, and I'm noticing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. And then I just want to bring also to implicate shortly. For example, I noticed that to prepare today's session, I extended my day yesterday, and I didn't journal. I was more time also with my partner, and there was a push. I slept less, and I can feel it in my body this morning. It was not fully restored. It was tired. And for me, Marco was touching about in these sessions, it's mainly about restoring healthy living patterns of thinking in each of us, because they are organic in a way. They are with us. And the regenerative level would be about you, Jeremy, and you, Nitzan, being able to go to your teams and doing these sessions with them, so they can also unfold their thinking and seeing their gaps and so on. This is when the regenerative starts happening. When it creates more conditions to more life, when these ripples, it's not about replicating, it's not about you giving the same talk, but you give your own talk in your own context, your own sessions, let's call it, that create conditions to life. Just to make a bit more distinctions between restoring and regenerating, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Gil. And please do use this kind of stuff. As you experience you in yourself, you are able to pass this to others. Don't do that if you don't experience yourself. Like just presenting a map, it doesn't work. It's just mind stuff. But when we do the work like we are doing here, like we have the map and we try to apply this to our game worlds, to our context, something in shifting inside of us. We are talking about our experience. Suddenly the map came alive inside me. And that is the thing that we are talking about. And please use, we have a file with these maps that we put in all recordings. It's there, the link. Use that, use the recordings, go with the teams, go with other projects, just go and do the work. That for us, it's the thing. It's that wheel that we put in our purpose. It's really help supporting the game world builders to change their game worlds and the territories, the places where that game worlds are alive.
And really to bring that the goal of the maps and the framework, as well as the distinctions, is not to assign things like I'm like this here and I'm like this there, and then we start judging and creating solutions. It's really about, for example, when I was listening Nitzan, for example, I could listen the feelings he was having by coming and checking, wow, we are probably at the conventional here, and even sustainability. And while he was describing, I was having a sensing of where was who going. Education probably more, but then we are also polluting. And then the team is working like this. And this is what the map works for. It brings aliveness in this team to understand how life wants to unfold and what's blocking. And it's not for judging or scoring. It's really for what this framework and map makes visible and how it activates our aliveness, individual and as a team, so we act as life. So it's this level.
Thank you, Gil. And I want to put something in the space. Now, put the map there. There is these two terms of sustainability and sustain, and you use that now, Gil, with like that be equal. It's not equal. Sustainability is all these levels. This is all levels of thinking about sustainability, from degenerative to regenerative. This is all, sustainability is all of that. And sustain is one of the levels. It's different from sustainability, okay? Sometimes we are starting to use the word sustainability to talk about sustain. Regenerate is it's a way of thinking about sustainability, okay? In the context of this map, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Marco.
Let's go for the next thing.
Let's go for the next ride. Who's ready?
Gil, I think it's better for me to do the thing and the sharing.
Really?
Yeah, because. Okay.
Okay, so I'll stop and you will do it.
Thank you.
So now we're gonna present a framework from possibility management. So the last one was mainly from regenerative development and Daniel Wall, and we use it to navigate. The next one is about from possibility management of how we create new results. So we are in the projects, we were brought in this culture, and in several ways, we want different results. We want to be healthy and have a life where our being is expanding, our teams are working, the projects are unfolding naturally, synchronistically, with more life, like waking up every day with, wow, it's alive. And we'll explore that with this framework, okay?
Thank you, Gil. Like we start with the game and we did the game thing. And at the end, we noticed some stuff and we noticed, oh, okay, this happened. I was with this kind of thought. And we saw these maps of levels of sustainability. Now I have awareness about what is alive in me. And the question is, are you guys seeing the map?
No.
No, okay. The question is, sorry, that was. And now?
Now, yes.
Thank you. And the question is, how can I really go for new results? What needs to happen to have a completely different results? In possibility management, we don't think about good and bad, positive or negative. We talk about results. Please say what is the results you have. And with the results, we can speak about, do you want that? It's the kind of results that you want. It doesn't matter what happened. Yeah? What I thought, it's a positive or negative, I should do that and I could do that. It doesn't matter. The matter that it's the results are over there. Like when we did the game, yes, we can reflect all the things we can do, but the result was that 2 of that cardinals were full with that thing. That is the result. It's not good, it's not bad, it's the result. It's the kind of result that I want to create. It's a completely different context. And this map is about that. What I need to put in place to have completely different results. And for you to have new results, what you need, Nitzan or Jeremy, what you need to have?
To have new results, I need to have courage. I need to have creativity. I need to have
creativity meaning new actions.
New actions.
Yeah.
Exploration. I need to have the ability to fail, to know that it's okay to fail. That's part of the courageousness, I think.
That's it. That's it. This kind of stuff, the new behaviors that you are talking, like experimenting, failing, the new actions. That's it. For having this new results, we need that. But all of us have this experience of going to workshops, trainings, and something like that, and we learn something really great, cool, and 1 month after we forget. We didn't have this experience.
Sure.
I have this experience.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we all have this experience. That means that something needs to be there that is not. Where these new actions came from? For you to have new actions, what you need to do?
Mindset change.
That means?
It's the kind of adage of the definition of madness is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different outcome.
Yes.
So we need to change our mindsets in order to derive a new result, because
there is something in the mindset and the action. There is something in between there. What is?
There is a pause. There is a pause. That's what I was about to say. Like pausing.
To have a pause, you need to. A pause is a possibility. Okay.
There's a decision.
It's a decision. Yes, you need new decisions. New decisions, and decisions have this thing. Decision have this thing that is very important. They are conscious and unconscious decisions. Like in the game, you guys used an unconscious decision to do the work. You put in the cardinal, and that happens. And that was one of the things that create that kind of results. Yeah, you really change some behavior, you notice and you change some behavior, but that was not good enough for having a broad scope of. Something was operating there, and that was the unconscious decision that was there. That is a very important decision. We have distinction. We have this. We need new decisions, and we need to be aware of where that decision is coming from.
As well as the decision of collaborating was a conscious decision.
Yes.
This is to collaborate. And
Yes.
that was coming. Other ones were unconscious.
And create something completely different when you did that. Now, you are not playing the game anymore. You change the game as doing that decision, that conscious decision of let's put zeros and x's there.
Yeah.
And where the new decisions came from. For you to have new decisions, where that came from, what you need to have before that.
Openness.
That means?
That means that there are infinite possibilities.
Yes, you need possibilities. Yes.
And recognizing that.
Yes, that's the thing. You need new options, new possibilities. And in our culture, we have this thing that we go for 1 and 2 or 3 at most possibilities, and we try to make a decision with these 3, with the best of these 3, what the less damage of these 3. Imagine that for each decision you have 20 or 100 possibilities to choose.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different thing. So, guys, this game that we did in the beginning, you have 5 minutes to do that. Why you have 5 minutes? Like Einstein say, if I have 5 minutes to solve the problem, I use 4 minutes and a half to think about the problem and to think about the way I'm thinking about the problem, and the last half minute to solve the problem. It's that kind of thing. Like, okay, what is really here? What is the kind of maps I'm using to think about this? What possibilities are here? What I can do in the cardinal, outside the cardinal, in the sheet, outside the sheet? That engagement into new conversations is really creating new possibilities. Not going directly for playing, but noticing the maps, the kind of maps that I'm using to play. That is a completely different context. And it's this kind of stuff. As far as you go in the iceberg, you are noticing more deep structures in you, deep structures in the system, in individual, team, and collective system. All these 3 levels of work are there: the individual, the team, and the community. And for you to have new options, new possibilities, what need you have? What the kinds of stuff you need to have there? Like you said,
Marco, just let me say one thing. Imagine that for any option you're taking, you go for the I4F crowds circle and ask for 20 possibilities for doing what you're thinking about doing. And then suddenly you have the team. Even that possibility of asking for other people possibilities is a new option, where you can get even more options. So just to bring that, it's also a possibility.
Yeah, it's a resource. In this context, for you to have new options, new possibilities, what you need, you said that, Jeremy, in the beginning. Like I said, there is something in between this.
Mindset.
We call that in possibility management thought maps. Like we are bringing this thought maps. It's the way we think about the thing. It's not the thinking itself. It's not the content of the thinking. It's the way, it's the thought we are thinking to use that content, to think about the stuff. And new thought maps came from new contexts. And that is a very important thing. Like in a game world, the context is the level of responsibility. And like if you are operating in restoring, in the high level responsibility, and with that sustainability way of thinking, restoring, the maps that we use are completely different things. And the options that we have with that maps are completely different things. Like Nitzan did when he said, in that context, I'm conventional. He noticed that the maps and the results and the maps he is using are creating that. And as soon as he have this awareness, he can change the context. He can upgrade the context, say, okay, I don't want to be a child. I want to be an adult, or in higher, or in radical responsibility. And I want to change the game world from top down. It's a completely different thing if you choose to do agriculture with industrial techniques, like I'm in child or responsible mode, or if you choose to use permaculture. It's a completely different context. It's completely different to thought maps. It's completely different in new options. and we have here awareness of the thinking process that is in the thought maps. The context, it's the responsibility level that is present when I bring this kind of maps. It's the awareness in a sense, but it's not only the thinking process, it's the awareness of the whole process that is present in the context. The energy level, the physical, what is there in the space, the emotional context of the spaces, it's all that. It's not only the thinking process.
And Jeremy and Nitzan, what do you do when you feel that your current mindset, your current thoughtwares are not producing the new results you want to? What do you usually do?
I take a lot of magic mushrooms and I go on a deep journey.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I spend time in nature.
Or can you speak with these distinctions? For what? What you are trying to think? To have new thought maps, new options, new decisions, new context?
Yeah, both the new context and new thought maps. And from there, start to become a present.
And what else? Other things that you do in order to get out of that mindset?
I meditate.
Okay, more.
I ask for reflection. I ask for new options, like from people around me.
Yeah, I usually a while ago you also said about going to trainings, going to other places, places where probably the results are happening, the results that you want to implement are also happening, and usually, at least for me, it was about when I start seeing the transition initiatives, eco-villages. By going there, none of that was making sense to me. I like the results, but their thought maps were kind of invisible to me. I couldn't understand how that could happen. And by being there, it showed that the thought maps I was having, they were just thought maps. I could change them to something differently. And for me, it was important to go to these new contexts to show that my current thought maps were just obsolete.
Let's apply this.
Yeah.
We have 20 minutes. Let's apply this. Yes?
So rather than a linear thing, I've drawn it as a circle. Because just like Gilles was saying, that I feel like you can find new context and awareness by having exposure to other results and seeing things. So you don't have to think of it as a beginning at an A and finishing at a B. These things can appear in that journey.
Yes, thank you.
And remember that all of this is multidimensional. The new context of relating can be happening in another place of the ecology, another financial and political system. And some of us move through the relationship, but now we're like stuck, but the political system doesn't allow me to evolve in other. And so all of them, it's all spirals inside of spirals, collaborating with other spirals.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do a reflection. Let's do a 5 minutes reflection, each one of us. And we have these questions for that. What are the results that myself and the projects or game worlds I'm in is manifesting and expressing in the world? I'm aware of my decisions. How do I know that? How am I challenging my current thought maps and experience new contexts? What strategies and practice can I start living in order to express regenerative level results? Let me bring something about this context. Context, it's a very deep thing. When you go for adult, for radical, it means you are not supporting in the outside structures anymore. You are the source of responsibility. That is a huge jump. It means the maps that you know doesn't apply. Like if you have a map like saying rage is bad, that is not applying in radical responsibility. If you have a map that's saying a game world can damage the earth, that is not a map that you can apply in radical responsibility. In radical responsibility, a game world that is doing damaging the earth, it's a suicidal game. It's a terrorist. It's a crime. It's an eco-suicide crime. this kind of stuff really goes to the table when you jump from a context like adult context to high or to radical, or when you go to child to adult. Please be aware that is not just a minor change. It's a really big and deep change inside of each one of us. Okay, let's go for this self-reflection.
I can say that I can say that the results that I'm seeing in the project.
Nitzan.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gil and Jeremy already finished. Let's give space for all to do the thing, and we go and we share.
We do it. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
We do it internally and then we share.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. 1 more minute. Gil, did you hand it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, at least,
Yeah.
a first layer.
Yeah. Jeremy, I don't know if he's listening. Nitzan, did you hand it? The first level. Okay. Okay, let's go. I start sharing, and please do briefly for us to have a quality time for checkout. Okay. In my case, I noticed that I'm using thought maps of scarcity about money, and I'm using that in my personal life and also in the game. So that is clear for me, and also an attachment being with the children in school and all that stuff, something is not working there. I'm noticing that. And, yeah. I want to change the strategy here. I want to change the strategy for empowering my children and also going with them in the decision making and empowering them. In that I want to change this, the way I'm thinking about this. And also in the game world, in the game world, I'm noticing, and I noticed that I try to bring possibility management and regenerative together, and like in a way want to changing the game world, the possibility management and the regenerative, and that is not working. That is working on the level of behaviors, new actions, and I want to really change the context and go for a completely different content. They take responsibility for these two game modes that I really enjoy, and creating a new one that is really rooted in both of them. And that was very clear for me in this context. Thank you. Who wants to go next?
Thank you, Marco. I can go next, and I've noticed that I'm before I had this thought map that I had to be successful in different parts of my life, relationships, work, spiritual development, whatever, and all of them were fragmented. So in order for me to do it well, I had to be one person in one and another person in another one, or focused, but keeping my life fragmented. And now it's coming all together about living in wholes, where myself in the life I want to have, myself with my partner and friends and colleagues at work and community are becoming more whole and not cracked and fragments and so on. And one of the new results I'm creating and living is that I'm going to be on the Expand the Box training from tomorrow to Sunday. And my partner is going to be there. I have friends there. I have people I'm doing coaching. I'm giving coaching that will also be there. And I have also my partners of work like Marco and other people being in that space. And for me, I sense this new experience about all of them will see me dying, vulnerable, breaking through, hold me, challenging me in all my relationships. So I'm a bit freaking out and enjoying and with yes, this is a new result I want to be living in. And yeah, this is me. That was my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. Who wants to go next?
Happy to go next. The results that my project were manifesting came from a sense of rejection and abandonment. These mindsets led to isolation, but then as a result led to observance, pause, and renewal. Similarly, Marco, I see myself in you when thinking about scarcity mindset and limited beliefs. I created more awareness of these decisions through feedback loops and self-reflection. And I was challenging my mindset by exposure to newness, deep personal work, spiritual unity with source, and group communal work, which is like holding a mirror up to oneself. And the strategies that I can start living have been to decide to love and believe in myself, and to operate from gratitude, openness, and to think about the strategy of thinking more around process over outcome. Instead of thinking very outcome orientated, thinking more about what is the journey, and being open to how that journey unfolds instead of being defined by what I think the outcome should be.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay, my reflection is that the results at the moment are coming from a lot of fear, and the understanding that in order to step out of this fear mode, I need to face this fear and like be more aware of that. Not only in me, but also in the group. And for that, we need some structures to hold it and to be able to reflect and share and see each other and see ourselves in good eyes. I am in a stage that I'm much more connected to my heart right now. I understand that my strategies in the mind level are limited and limiting me from deep belief and hope, and I'm focusing more and more on this nurturing my belief and my heart, and be open to see the impacts that it creates and the ripples that it creates, and that those ripples come back as synchronicity all the time, and to put focus on those moments and be less judgy on the things that in the mind level, like not working or like feeling this lacking of resources. Finance for sure, it's like a big topic there that like really put like a load on my mind and the mind of all the members in the group, like really a load that can just take us really away from good practices that we have, that we know that works. So now what I do as like create new thought maps is kind of hacking my system to commit to healthy practices with more people around, and to commit to the people to do those practices in a daily basis or at least in a weekly basis. So when I commit, I'm committing myself to other people. It really helps me to do those practices that I know that in a personal level really support my path. So that was that's the
Thank you.
moment.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nitzan.
Nitzan.
We have
Thank you.
5 minutes, and my proposal is for us to go with the checkout and bringing these questions. It's more or less 1 minute to each other, like what is alive in me, what shifted in me with this session, and what is my take-home message or insight. Who wants to start and pass to the other? Let's go. I go. What is alive in me? I feel very energized. I have a lot of energy in me. I also have some rage, because anger, because some of the slides have information that is could create misunderstanding. What shifted in me was this it's when I came into the session, I was in some kind of a reacting mode, and it shifted to really engaging in collaboration. Like I felt that sensation in the space, and we doing the work together. Like I'm committed for you guys to really have projects that I could visit and could go, and I have this will of hugging you, and yeah, this is very alive in me. And what I take with me is this sense of trust in the field, and at the same time be very assertive with how the information and experience is put in the space. And it's my takeover. Thank you. And I pass to Jeremy.
Thank you, Marco. What's alive in me is connection to the three of you, and I feel that has been a big shift. I know that it's been time in my mind that has been dwelling about connecting with you both, and so I feel tremendous gratitude for your generosity for this moment, and for your wisdom, and to see within you what you're bringing to the world and how that's being birthed. So my take home is for me to make more of an effort to reach out and connect to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. And you pass to?
And I pass it to Nitzan.
Thank you. What's alive in me is calmness and ease at the moment, from this understanding, again, re-understanding, like I'm way far away from being alone in this process. And whenever those feelings are coming of like, it's all on me, like I cannot cope with it, it's like overwhelming, then I have possibilities and I have people around me and in the bigger circles also to connect with and to ask for help and to, as you mentioned, Jeremy, like to use these bigger groups of wisdom and reflections and tools, practical tools that I really want to devote myself to be able to, in the moment, like do it faster with less hesitation. So that's like a shift I see. And what do I take home? To be in my body, as much as I can and understand what it's telling me. Like now I feel more my stomach than before. I felt more in my head level, like buzzing, and now it's like more settle, and yeah, I feel good about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitzan. Gil.
Thank you. And taking the body parts, I feel my heart pumping stronger. And for me, it's this celebration of us today, this honoring of each of you and the presence that you all had at the space we had. And what shifted in me was noticing also some of the design in order to achieve, which is also okay, but this potentially overwhelming design in order to move forward, for us to move forward. And it shifted that it's not by pulling, how do you call it? Not by pushing, but by creating the feeling. For me, we had a very juicy journey without this push, this go, next stuff. And it was coming, it was unfolding and skinning and it's shifting in me this really, yes, on the slide, but yeah, a lot on the field. And my take-home message and insight is, I gain a lot from these sessions, relationships, energy, inspiration. I'm living here with the intention of being a community, being in place. I also from this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to invite the people that are seeing this recording to really apply the practice, the reflections. Do that with somebody, find somebody else and do that, the practice. It's a completely different to have the map and do the practice, experimenting yourself with your game modes. Please do that. And you have the other distinctions in the other 3 sessions. And you are very welcome to the next session. It will be next Wednesday at the same time, 9:15. A big hug to all the community all over.
Oh.
Até já.
Yes, até já.
Muito obrigado.
And Jeremy, well, one thing you mentioned about the